Hello there, YouTube. It's Saint, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Guardian from Nightreign. And man, I haven't played around with a bunch of these characters now. Elden Ring 2 or Dark Souls 4, whatever the hell FromSoft makes, you know, like their next big game, it's gonna go crazy. So everybody kind of focuses on like the ultimate moves and the special moves that these characters has. But like their passive stuff, I think, is the real interesting thing. As you can see, this guy has like a special block that's sort of similar to the deflect mechanic from Sekiro, except you're doing it with a shield. And if you're using a halberd, I think halberd, maybe the big spears, I don't remember exactly, but halberds for sure. If you're using a halberd, which is this guy's like unique weapon, starting weapon, he gets this unique moveset with the halberd. Just like all the other characters get, like Wilder has a unique moveset with great swords, the Duchess has a unique moveset with daggers, etc., etc. So like no matter what halberd I pick up or glaive, it will default to this new moveset, right? And that includes my new guard counter. So this guy, that's his whole deal, is blocks and guard counters. And each one of these characters in Nightreign is basically just kind of like a rework of the old From Software mechanics that we've been playing with since Demon Souls, you know, for the past 20 years or whatever it is at this point. It can't be that long. I'm not that old. 15 years, whatever the case may be. Each character sort of like reworks things. So like the Executor sort of reworking on deflects, and the Duchess reworks dodges. This guy has terrible dodges. I call this guy Dark Souls 2 man, actually, because his dodge is terrible. He gets hit by questionable hitboxes all the time, and he's really, really slow. But he's very, very close to being my favorite thing ever. He's Dark Souls 2 man. He has no iframes, he's slow as hell, and he gets hit by things he shouldn't get hit by. But god dang, is he fun. Dark Souls 2 man. And like when FromSoft lets me have this with a parry and a sword, like a straight sword, this is going to be my favorite game of all time. But, you know, just putting that out there ahead of time. You can use a parry shield with this guy if you want to. And in Nightreign, as you find better shields from harder monsters, you might get a small parry shield that has better guard up than this great shield that he starts with. It's just, you know, up to random luck and chance, you know? So another thing that this guy gets that's unique is the ability to charge his guard counters. He can only do that with halberds or glaives, but he can charge those up and use those for like insane posture break build-up. This guy ends up sort of, you know, block, steel guard is what it's called. He ends up doing like the steel guard into the guard counter, into the poise break, into the critical. So like if you're building for this guy, you know, critical up stuff, if you want to put a dagger on like a soft swap so that you can swap over to a dagger with all the posture breaks you're going to be getting with this guy, that would make sense to do. Critical up type stuff, better attack after a critical. These are all things that you can get, like passives that you can get. I'm gonna get absolutely diddled by this Crucible Knight here. See how he's keeping me like in this stun over and over again? It's because I can't get enough stamina to fight out of it. That's where his ultimate comes in. But this video is not really about his ultimate stuff. But you can see it's healing me, and I can just hold it and basically have iframes forever. But yeah, his dodge, terrible. So grabs and things, especially dangerous with this dude. The steel guard works by blocking, and then while you're blocking, pressing dodge. And you press dodge, and you go into like a sort of different stance. And it eats your stamina, but blocking doesn't cost as much stamina, if that makes sense, without you being able to see it. I don't know why I keep trying to jump that. I do know why. It's because I'm an idiot, but that's okay. I also have like a passive ability on him. You might notice when I do the steel guard and time it perfectly, it sort of staggers the enemy. That's just a little passive thing that I have on, I think. I don't think that that's like a default of the steel guard. I don't know what it is that I have on that's making it happen. If I'm being honest, I don't have a lot of relics to equip on this guy yet, and so I'm not sure which of the 3 that I have on is actually doing that. This thing is sick. Like, just as an aside, I didn't want to talk a lot about his ultimates and stuff, but I knew I was going to love this character with the focus on shield play and the giant verticality plunge attack. Like, I knew this dude was going to be my favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite, but God, I absolutely love this guy. And he's so close to being perfect. Like, I do like glaives or halberds or whatever you want to call them. But if this dude had sword and shield, like, this would be, no doubt about it, like, my guy, 100%. But, yeah, the block, there you go. There's an example of the block, the steel guard, hitting, and that passive effect that I have, it like pushes back, it like does a little damage. Basically, it's like do damage whenever you get a successful guard. It's a relic that does that. Moves like that are things that like you kind of have to work on if you're From Software. Used to, in the old From Software games, if you were holding your shield up and somebody hit like your back, you still blocked the hit. Like you used to be able to have like 360 degree like blocking in some of the old games, and like 360 degree parrying. And then Elden Ring did away with that, and they gave you like golden parry, where it's like, okay, you can still parry 360 degrees or close to it, you know, a huge radius. It's not 360, but you know what I'm saying. You can parry this huge radius around you, but it's a special ability now. It's not just like built into the game like it used to be. So his blocks, sometimes you're trying to like guard and things will hit behind you, and like there's really not much you can do about it against some of these like big enemies. These things that you're seeing knock me down here, these are, I just want to clarify, this is not illustrating what I'm talking about. That's just me pressing buttons at the wrong time. I'm pressing heavy attack before the block actually happens. That's how it should look. Against this guy, yeah, you're not seeing what I'm talking about. But if you fight like the Ancient Dragon or something that's just like absolutely massive, I'm sure you'll experience it. It feels like things are hitting behind you, and like there's just nothing you can do outside of like, you know, reposition yourself and try again. But it's difficult to know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But yeah, fights against some of those like massive monsters with this with these mechanics can feel a little I don't know, wonky, not great. That's something that, you know, you would have to improve upon. But how do you do it without making him just absolutely OP, right? If he doesn't have to block, put the shield in front of the attack. If he doesn't have to do that, if he can just block in 360 degrees, like he just becomes like an iron wall, basically. But there has to be some middle ground there where it's, you know, attacks are more easy to read or understand. It's, you know, or something. They're more clear. They illustrate like, hey, you need to be blocking behind you, and like give the player a chance to do that without having to like make that decision on the fly, you know, without understanding what you're seeing, because that's what happens. Like, you can't see these giant monsters like the Ancient Dragon and the Noxtella Dragonkin and stuff like that. Those big, massive monsters. Like, they're hitting behind you, and there's just nothing you can do about it because you can't see back there. Because that's not how lock-on works. And you could say, well, you need to unlock, and like, sure, but that's not, you know, like, what the game developer is going to want to do. They're going to want this to be clear and concise. They're going to want to make sure that the player feels like they understand why they're getting hit. And, you know, big monsters just kind of a monkey wrench in the gears of this cool mechanic. But yeah, I can't say enough awesome things about how fun it is to play this guy, especially with a team. He's really, really fun when you play in a team, because this dude is like the hero all the time, and it's awesome. If one of your homies is about to get absolutely blasted by some like insane combo, and you are able to step in front of it and block it and then hit the guard counter and get the posture break at the same time, like, it's fantastic. Alternatively, you know, his ultimate, if you put relics on it, it can heal. It makes the party invincible. It can pick up your party members who have been knocked out. Like, I think even up to like tier 3. So like, they could be like dead, and you can still revive them with his ultimate move. And his ultimate does have pretty good posture damage on it, I think, as well. That, oh, I don't know if you noticed, you'll probably get another chance to see that, but there's always been this Dark Souls thing, yeah, there you go, where when you block an attack that's like really big, it pushes your character back, and it used to make your character do like a backflip, and I always loved that little animation, that little attention to detail there. Also there you saw using the steel guard to actually dodge an attack as opposed to block. Like, you can crouch under certain attacks. It's so sick. But yeah, so getting knocked back, but having a move that allows you to charge back in instantly is so sick. I love it. Everything about this guy is sort of like, yeah, he's Dark Souls 2 man, you know? He does Dark Souls 2 man stuff, and I love him. And I cannot wait to see, like, this guy, you know, these mechanics, in a game where, like, you've got all the other RPG mechanics and the build making and et cetera, like Elden Ring 2 or Dark Souls 4, whatever the hell they make, where, you know, you can make your own character, and it's like, this is what shields do going forward. Like, no longer is it just hold up your shield and block. Now there's an element of, like, pressing buttons while you're blocking in order to get the most out of your blocking. And when you are able to mix in parries with that as well, you know, like, it's going to be sick. I don't have any footage of me with a straight sword on this, but I do have a curved sword. And, man, this guy has a little bit of faith in his character's, like, sheet, you know? And the scavenger curved sword with the holy buff against the deathbird, those deathbirds are like, they're a nightmare, man. They're sick. Like, being able to just delete one like that, and they do have their health scaled down because I'm playing solo, but still, to see how much damage he does with, like, the Faith curved sword. He doesn't have, like, great faith, but it's fine, you know, he has a little bit, and it lets stuff like that work out really well. This right here, that you're like, what I should be doing is I should be doing multiple blocks, right? So, like, block plus circle, and then block plus circle again, and then block plus circle a third time. That's what I should be doing. Because if you do that, you don't use hardly any stamina at all, and then you can take your counterattack. But I'm still getting used to this guy. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not a Guardian legend or anything. But those big single hits, you know, those are easy. But the combo hits that things have, What is this hitbox, by the way? Look at this. It's ridiculous. Let me... you know, it's not my fault this guy doesn't have guts. Let me hit where his guts should be, you know? Anyway. What I should be doing against these multi-hit attacks is block plus dodge, and then block plus dodge, and then the guard counter. But instead, I keep making the mistake of trying to interrupt. And that's not how you're supposed to play this guy, because he's a shield guy. He's a Dark Souls 2 guy. You play slow. You have to slow the game down a little bit. Which was a thing that I really liked about Elden Ring with the addition of guard counters, was it felt like they brought back the Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 style of playing, where it's like, sure, everything attacks really, really fast, but you don't have to play really, really fast. You know, Dark Souls 3, it was kind of like you need to play at this default speed that we have set. With Elden Ring, you don't have to play that fast. You can slow it down a little bit with you know, guard counters and blocking and things like that. Like, they're still pretty good. Especially after like the most recent patch Elden Ring got, which was a long time ago, but that patch that buffed shields, especially, makes playing that way much easier. Look at that, just terrible drops, by the way. Just awful. Terrible drops for this entire run. Thankfully, we're going up against like the first boss, the three-headed dog, Gladius. So like, I wasn't too worried. And we have a faith, or I'm sorry, we have a sacred damage. You see how that first hit that I took after the steel guard didn't do hardly any stamina damage? Like, you can keep doing that, and I need to implement that, because that's what you know, that's what this dude's about. You know, block plus dodge, block plus dodge, block plus dodge against those combos. I know it works because I've done it enough. Like right here. See, he never broke my guard there. And he did very little damage. So, like, that is what you're supposed to do. Otherwise you will get guard broke. Because they don't want it to be, you know, just hide behind a shield forever, right? They want you to have to, like, make some adjustments and some decisions and press buttons as opposed to just holding the L1 button, right? So in solo mode, you get one free resurrection now, and so that was my one free resurrection. And if you look in my item bar, I've got the blood boil aromatic, but then under that I have a little soul icon, and that is another resurrection that I have. And some of those terrible drops that I got coming back to bite me in the ass. It would be nice to have a parry shield here, but I never got another shield to deal with Morgott. And the Commander Standard's solid. Like, that's a fine weapon. But my shield is like the starting shield, so like I never... Like, that's terrible. I should have gotten some kind of upgrade. And it's not like I didn't do stuff, you know? I stayed busy killing bosses and stuff. I just got really garbage drops on this run. But that's just the way it be sometimes. It's fine. We're gonna use the we're gonna use these little red berries here. To get us some health back. And then this will posture break. And then we win. GG's easy. Making use of the environment around us. That's smart. Work smart, not hard, right? I could complain about these drops here, but, you know, damage negation is good. I'll take damage negation. I was kind of torn between, should I take the affinity for the fire damage the dog is going to do, or should I take the physical for the physical damage the dog is going to do? And the dog spends more time physically attacking you than it does breathing fire, so I thought, yeah, let's take the physical. But yeah, this dude rules. I absolutely love him. I absolutely love a rework to blocking. I love the idea of making blocking a less passive affair. Like, manually for the player. The player has to do more while they're blocking. You can't just hold L1 and just be immune and gone because you picked the shield that had the best stats on it, you know what I'm saying? I love the idea of having these expanded guard counters with like charge attacks and being able to charge those up and make the decision between whether or not it's time for a charge counter or it's time for a regular guard counter. I love that. Another thing that I like is his, he gives up iframes to have a shield. I love that. I love it. His dodge sucks. It's absolute garbage. But, you know, like, you have other stuff that you can do. And they gave him that ultimate that gives him iframes, you know. And his little whirlwind thing that he gets, that can push projectiles away, which is cool. So it has different, you know, like he has a whole unique package, but just in terms of like what this means, like going forward for, you know, From Software when it comes to playing behind a shield. Because I love playing behind a shield. Anybody who's watched my videos, like Sword and Shield, that's my favorite thing. I play every game like that. If you'll let me play your game with a Sword and Shield, that's how I'm going to play it. And, you know, FromSoft has gotten better and better at it. But at the end of the day, it's just been block, parry, or attack, right? Or dodge. Having, like, meaningful penalties for carrying a shield, but at the same time, like, having a shield that's way more badass, a block that's way more badass, guard counters that are way more badass, having all that stuff to make up for the penalty of losing the roll, you know, I think that rules. I'm into that. And then also making the shield like less of a passive affair, making it more proactive in how you go about actually playing with it. Like that rules. And it, like I said, like when you add parrying into this equation, like this is, yeah, we're so close to like what I think would be the best thing ever. And I know not everybody feels, you know, the same way. Not everybody's a big sword and shield nerd like me. And that's fine. That's what all the other characters are for. Like every mechanic, every playstyle, like I mentioned, like everything's getting a touch up. You know, the agile dodges with the Duchess, the deflects with the Executor, archery magic, all of it. Like it's all getting a facelift, and yeah, it's awesome because it needs it. And yeah, where they seem to be headed is a place that I seem to be enjoying going. I'm so down. I am so ready. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, let me know. Maybe I'll make some videos for the other classes as well and kind of go over their changes and what I like or don't. Alright, I'll see you next time. Later, y'all.